is the art of the metaphor. You're not just saying something, so it's not like an editorial out of a newspaper where you're stating your opinion and you're laying out the case for it in an argued, written way. A cartoon has an image and text as well, or sometimes it doesn't have text, but an image that has to, it's not just a direct, literal interpretation of what's going on, it's a metaphor for what's going on. There's a step that the reader needs to make to understand what it is. It's not just a, here is my opinion, blah. They have to say, right, here is this image. Why, what is it saying? What is it? So, cartooning's got that wonderful ability that you can turn, politicians into any sort of animal. You can put them in any sort of situation. You can have them skydiving if you want. They can be on a desert island. When a cartoon works, it works immediately, and that's, I see it's funny because it's just something that I've never really thought about how it works. It just kind of does. But I suppose professional cartoonists are people who have something in their brain that works in that way, in the way they see things. So I suppose, it is a strange skill to have. I don't like to do cartoons about things unless I have an opinion on them. Like if there's an issue that I don't know enough about or that I don't feel really strongly on, unless I've been asked specifically to do that issue, often I will avoid that issue, or I will try and think, okay, well, what is at the heart of this issue? But also, you have to be careful then that not to make things black and white as well. Sometimes a cartoon that will be easy to think up, that's a very black and white cartoon, will come into my head and I'll think, oh no, but that's not exactly what I mean, because there are shades of grey, or there are complexities in this. Can I incorporate that into the cartoon, or should I just chuck that one because it is too black and white? But yeah, it is definitely a work of passion. There's nothing I love better than, if there's something I'm really passionate about or angry about, venting my passion or anger in ink on a page is a lovely thing to be able to do. The mystery of the missing Julia. This is for this week's Eureka Street, and for the last 2 weeks I sort of thought of a good cartoon about Tony Abbott and then thought, no, I've done Tony Abbott 2 weeks in a row. And so I thought I'll do Julia Gillard, and then I was thinking about her and just thinking, whatever happened to that Julia we used to know, the one who was a deputy prime minister and seemed to have a bit of feistiness, and she wasn't, and she just turned into a robot. And that is, I was just thinking, she didn't used to be robotic. So that was the motivation for this, the mystery of the missing Julia, and that, it's probably indulging in a complete fantasy that there really is the real Julia somewhere tied up and she might escape. Here's one I did about Burma when there was a lot of excitement about, last year there was a lot of excitement about Aung San Suu Kyi being released, but then there was also the question of what the generals would do. So here's this one. This is an example of taking it's come out a little bit dark there, but this is an example of using that metaphor, the very famous hope poster that Barack Obama had, and that became so iconic, and it's such a political symbol that I'm sure will be recognisable. And so this is sort of, a rip-off of that it's the generals, instead of saying hope, they're saying nope. And we've got the, activist or the army guy saying just a warning not to get your hopes up. So that was, again, taking that image, trying to say that about the generals and using the hope poster as sort of a political metaphor for that as well. Another metaphor, old Tony Abbott's been a bit of a wrecking ball this year, so I've been enjoying drawing him and he's got, with Tony Abbott it's the ears and the flat forehead, and he's also got a very wide, thick-lipped mouth, as well as the budgie smugglers, but probably as far as doing a silhouette shape, then the ears are good. So this one is preparing for Parliament, and Tony's been a bit of a wrecker last year, and so there's someone walking in with him saying, so no New Year's resolutions this year then, Tony. Finally, this This was my I did this for Eureka Street, another Eureka Street one, but it ended up being my Christmas digital Christmas card for last year as well. It was around the time of WikiLeaks when there was information flying thither and yon. Santa revealed who's naughty, who's nice. Curse you, WikiLeaks. So that was fun to do. It's fun when you've got, and Christmas is always a challenge like that because every year you've got to come up with Christmas cards or a Christmas cartoon usually, and do cartoons for other people. So once you've run out of your generic Santa gags, it's nice to be able to incorporate a bit of current affairs into them too. To be honest, I'm not a religious person at all. I'm not a Catholic or a Christian, but I've got a fairly strict moral code for myself, and ethics are very important to me. And before, I've been working for Eureka Street for about probably a bit over 6 months now, and I really liked. Before I worked for them, I used to look at their website all the time because I find theological approaches to things interesting as well. I'm not a religious person, but I find that really interesting. Plus, they've just got a whole lot of articles that I find, interesting as well, without any religious content at all, but as the social justice focus and the ethics focus is really interesting to me. The media landscape has changed so much over those last 20 years, and Eureka Street has gone from print to online in that time and has stayed vibrant. I knew of Eureka Street a long time before I started working for them, and was always dropping in on the website every now and again and looking at the articles, and always found something good to read. So I think it's a testament to the Eureka Street itself that it's managed to survive that long and that it's going strong. And it has changed obviously with a digital version that's a different format where there can be comments and a more immediate response with readers, and I think they've handled that really well.